Guys, welcome to today's video where I want to talk about the best way of being out in the wilderness, off-roading and camping to your heart's content. What's the one thing I wish I knew before getting into off-roading? It's that you don't have to suffer when camping overnight near the trails you're exploring if you plan to incorporate portable off-grid power into your setup. Some might say that you're ruining the camping experience by bringing electronics with you, but I guess it depends on what you're out there for. If I wanted to primitive camp, I'd want that to be the actual reason I go out into the woods. A lot of people love camping first and the action-packed adventure of four-wheeling second, but I'm not one of those people. It's more of a means to an end for me. I didn't grow up camping. I don't have fond memories of it. I don't particularly like it, and to be honest, I've been avoiding it, which really reduces the numbers of trips I take and doesn't really allow me to have as much fun with my rig as I'd like. Bottom line, if not for four-wheel drive, flexing suspension, and steep hills, the extent of my outdoorsmanship would really be hiking or skiing periodically. The problem is, most off-roading trails and scenic spots are far away from home to the point where it's impractical to make a day trip out of an off-road adventure. So what can we do? Just not go? Or are we doomed to a miserable cold night without sleep, where our electronics run dangerously low on charge after all day use? There has to be a better way, and I think the EcoFlow River 2 series of power stations can in part bring home out to the wilderness with us and alleviate a lot of the discomfort and inconvenience of camping. I've been in the market for a power station for a long time, and I got so frustrated with my search that I decided to build my own last year in the form of a vehicle-mounted solar power system. I absolutely love the convenience, safety, and comfort that having the DIY off-grid power system gives me, but putting something like that together took days of research, a good amount of technical skills, and probably 8 to 10 hours of labor over the weekend. And it still has a fairly clunky user experience to the point where pretty much only I know how to operate it properly. Beyond that, it's hard mounted to the vehicle, so I can't take it with me to my rooftop tent or anywhere else I might want power. Imagine if you could spend the same amount of money as I did on my DIY power system, get just as much power output capability and more, a ton of absolute technological and chemical breakthroughs, the latest tech, like being able to charge from 0 to 100% in only 1 hour and have it be totally portable while coming in a compact 7.7 inch tall and 10 by 10 inch square package, weighing in at just under 14 pounds. That's what I'm showing you today with the EcoFlow River 2 Max portable power system. So why was I frustrated with my search for a power station? Well, it seemed like every power station manufacturer was still stuck using battery chemistry that only enables 500 to 1000 charging life cycles and came with only a short warranty to match. The EcoFlow River 2 power stations, including the base River 2, River 2 Max that I'm showing today, and the River 2 Pro, this unit's big brother, have the longest life cycles I've ever seen at over 3,000. If you use this thing once per day, it can last for 10 years. And it has an industry-leading 5-year warranty, which lets me know these people really stand behind the quality of their product. The app is actually really intuitive to use and enables you to control the power station with Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, which is an industry first from what I've seen. The River 2 Max itself has a 512 watt-hour capacity, which can support 12 or 24 volt car charging at 8 amps, so about 100 to 200 watts. The AC household type charging, and I couldn't believe this at first, 660 watts. So you can charge from 0 to 100% in only 1 hour and up to 80% in 45 minutes. Unbelievable. You can also use USB-C to charge it at about 100 watts, and it can take 220 watts of solar charging. The great thing is you get to choose how quickly the unit charges for all those input types, so you can set a percentage limit on the charging rate and the charge level if you want. So if you want the unit to stop charging at 80% while you use your solar power to charge something else, for example, you can limit that consumption. And you can even stop the unit discharging at a certain percent. So if you don't want the unit to go all the way down to 0%, you can cut off power early. The settings customizability keeps going with being able to set unit timeout, so you don't accidentally leave it on and bleed off power unnecessarily, in addition to the screen timeout and AC output timeout to save power as well. EcoFlow also releases over-the-air firmware updates to continually improve unit performance with updated software optimization. It weighs in at 13.9 7.2 pounds and is nice and compact without an awkward handle on the top like other brands. I'm thinking of Jackery. They really made that perfect design choice by putting the handle on the back of the unit and making it basically 10 by 10 inches. So I just went over the charging side. The output side is where it gets really crazy, and I have tested this just about to the limit. It can power AC household appliances up to 500 watts. No big deal until you turn on X-Boost and can safely power devices that require up to 1,000 watts of power out of this little package. I successfully ran a 950 watt espresso coffee machine that can instantaneously boil water and produce 20 bar of pressure with its compressor. The coffee is great, but being able to boil water using electricity almost instantly is a real convenience improvement to waiting 10 minutes for my propane stove to do it while using several dollars of propane in the process. It worked flawlessly and backed up EcoFlow's claim of 1,000 watt capability. The cigarette lighter can output up to 126 watts. The USB Type-C outlet's also extremely impressive, being able to put out up to 100 watts of fast charging power to all your electronics like portable lights, drones, phones, tablets, etc. USB-A outlets are capable of 12 watts, and there are 2 DC outputs that put out about 38 watts or 3 amps at 12.6 volts. You can also use this unit at home as backup power by leaving it plugged into the wall and plugging in your important electronics that can't go out in case of a power outage, such as like a Wi-Fi router, CPAP machine, baby monitor, other critical devices you want to remain on even in the event of a power outage. The power station will automatically take over as soon as it needs to and can resume power flow to your devices in less than 30 milliseconds after the power outage. All these features and capabilities have enabled EcoFlow to make the River 2 series the first series of power stations certified by the extremely strict and meticulous German certification company TÜV Rheinland. If you've ever been into modifying European cars, you're familiar with the markings on your aftermarket parts, especially if you live in Germany or Austria, where aftermarket parts certification by TÜV is required. If you're in the US, this is a non-issue, but certification is an indication that the product is manufactured to a quality standard. So compare this to my DIY setup, which does come in at an impressive 640 watt hours versus the 512 of the River 2 Max. However, the rudimentary BMS or battery management system in my solar battery doesn't allow for full discharge like the EcoFlow unit does. So I doubt I have much, if any, capacity advantage there. I have a 700 watt inverter, so that means that I can only power AC items like household type items of up to 700 watts. So I'm more limited in the kinds of appliances that I can run, and my wiring's a total mess, running all over the place behind my window MOLLE panel. This whole setup cost me almost the same as just buying one of these EcoFlow River 2 Max units and required a bunch of labor. Now, I enjoyed making this system, but if the EcoFlow River 2 units existed when I put my DIY system together, for the price, I would have chosen differently. It's pretty amazing to me that they're so far ahead of the competition and even their previous model lineup, but they didn't raise the price much at all with these. I have a limit of 10 devices that my discount code will work for, so go ahead and hit the link in the description and put in discount code Lexus EF5. I left an Amazon link there as well, and input that discount code. And again, this code only works on the first 10, so definitely get in there quick. I can't recommend this unit enough for those of you who are in the market for a power station, or even those of you who haven't considered it before but just don't want to be miserable camping like me and would benefit from having a little modern convenience with you while you're out there. I've been looking for the ultimate power station for a while, getting lost in spec sheets for more hours than I care to recount, and I can say for sure that I think this one is by far the best bang for buck for the technology you're getting. If I'm ever in the market for new tech, I always like to wait until there's an actual significant bump in technological performance. Like when Apple switched their MacBooks to using the in-house developed M1 chips instead of the Intel ones they used for decades. It's kind of the same thing with these power stations. After using this thing for a few weeks, I'm confident it's a big enough leap in technology and chemistry to justify the cost, especially when you consider the promise of how long this thing is supposed to last. A lot of power stations are built to kind of a disposable standard, and I really think this one is a long-term investment. So again, go ahead and check out the links in the description. Go look at the specs for yourself on the website. Compare it to the other brands that that you may have been considering, and let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about any of this. I'd really be interested to see if there's any other competitors in the same class that can even come close to matching these River 2 series of power stations. Let me know your thoughts on that. Anyways, you guys, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, comment, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.